Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. In today's episode, I've been challenged to build this awesome short sword in 3 days from our sponsor, Conquerors Blade, and their new season of their free-to-play PC game. Make sure to check out those links in the description at the end of the episode. With that, let's jump on in. So this is the blade that we chose to make. It's a short sword that has kind of a big hook on the end, a D-guard, and a kind of a swoopy serrated blade. I think it's going to be pretty fun to forge, so we're going to make everything integral. The guard, the bolster, the handle, the butt cap, it's all going to be integral. It's going to be a really difficult forging, but we've got this big piece of 4340 here that should suit it very well. So remove your head, throw this thing in the fire, get it heated up, start smashing it down. So we've got the blade kind of rough forged out. We've got that little hook on the end, slightly isolated. The blade's still pretty thick. I think this whole thing is going to be fairly thick because it's a more fantasy style blade and they generally design them pretty thick. We've got the integral butt cap, the integral bolster, and the integral guard. And we're kind of starting now to try to isolate that spike that wants to swoop up out of the backside of the guard. However, we have an issue in that I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do that. I tried, and all I did was just flatten down the big, nice, wide material that I had there, which is not ideal. So I think what I may have to try to do is bend it and then bend it again. You see, you've got that spike there and another spike there. We've got this nice two tight bends right in the middle there, and I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to make that happen. It's a really, really, really awkward thing to try to bend in such a tight configuration. We're going to have a little brainstorming session and see if we can make it work.
This blade is looking great. I've got to interrupt to tell you about our sponsor's game. Conquerors Blade is a free-to-play tactical MMO that is set in a vast medieval world. It tasks you to create a warlord, build and command an army, and raise an empire. They're releasing Season 6, Scourge of Winter. In the update, a powerful horde of bandits led by a man who calls himself Scourge of Winter ravages the north amidst the worst winter in living memory. You have to rise up, resist, and take back the north. In-game, you can complete unit challenges to promote your legacy units. You'll ride through the snow to face the wicked desecrators, and you can unlock season-exclusive rewards like the mighty arch-nemesis hero attire, 11 weapon skins, and new versions of classic armor. They've recently launched West and East Coast servers for smoother, more stable gameplay, so go take part in awesome siege battles, create your warlord, command units by getting 7 days of premium Conqueror's Blade for free at my link down below. Let's circle back to Will.
Well, we've got the forging all done on this guy, and it is looking, well, it's looking it's going to be looking a whole lot better after a little grinding, because currently it's rather cumbersome and it has a certain shape to it that we won't discuss, but we're going to fix it immediately. So let's go ahead, suit up, and hop into the grinding room. Still not super light, but we did grind off, man, probably 3 pounds of steel off of this thing. It is way lighter. I can actually hold it with one hand now and swing it, which is good. I've got the main bevels ground here. I've got kind of a rear bevel going as well, just to help lighten some of that weight. The things that are going to be really challenging are going to come after heat treat. The designs for this sword have some big serrations that kind of go all over the place on this thing, and so that's going to be kind of funky. I think it'll be kind of fun to grind those in. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and heat it up with a torch, dunk it in the oil to quench it, and then we're gonna use the big, tall Paragon heat treating oven to temper it. The reason that I'm doing the quenching with a torch and not in the oven is because this is 4340, and so I'm pretty confident in my heat treating abilities for that steel, and I want to be able to temper it overnight. I'm going to do a couple tempering cycles, and I'll just be able to let that oven run. We'll put it way out in the middle of the floor here and just let it do its thing overnight, and I won't have to worry about it, and we'll get back on it tomorrow morning and this thing finished up. So sitting here letting the sword cool down in the oil, and well, it's a wee bit stuck. Uh-oh. Oh no. This is not good. Oh, thank goodness. In it goes. We've got ourselves a tempering Kopesh. It's kind of a Kopesh. I didn't think about it earlier, but it really is a Kopesh shape. It's like a fantasy Kopesh, which is an Egyptian short sword. Well, it's the next morning now, and we're gonna go ahead and pull the sword out of the tempering oven. Et voila. Dang, this thing is freaking wild. We're gonna go back into the grinding room. All right, we got about 3 hours left in the day, and so we gotta really hustle on this guy. We're pretty close. I don't think I'm gonna end up gluing this handle. I think what I'm gonna do is drill probably 2 pinholes and rivet on these pieces of hickory, and then we'll probably do a leather wrap or a wrap of some sort to kind of tie it all together, blacken the blade, sharpen it, and then it'll be done. Well, it's not the cleanest thing I've ever made, but should clean up a little bit with a handle wrap. We've only got a little bit of time left in the day, so we're gonna super glue it now before we wrap it. This is basically just a chemical process to darken the steel. I think it's gonna look really nice on this sword. This was an absolutely crazy challenge, and it was a ton of fun to get to build this thing. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to Conqueror's Blade for sponsoring today's episode. Make sure to check out those links in the description to get your 7 free days of premium accountage. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you later. Goodbye.